What's up, guys? Today we are going to be looking at the first ever Warhammer board that I've ever made. Arguably my best Warhammer board to date. And see the wear and tear of it, how it's been doing, and actually I'll give y'all some of my tips of how to build Warhammer boards. Maybe we'll throw in a montage video a little later of me actually building some Warhammer boards. Stay postponed. But I mean, let's hop right into it. Let's start showcasing this board.
Okay, so getting into it, we have a big overview of the actual board itself. Now, we've got the wooden panels on the sides. I'm not a huge fan of those, but it really it was my first board, so that's what I went with. I do kind of like the sand, how it all kind of ties it together. I'm not sure about the trees, though, so I think I dropped my phone here, oh, there we go. But this is what a mini would see when the board. That's one of my favorite actual film angles. I don't know if we like the forest. That's up to y'all. I'm on the edge about it. But here is kind of the first route you can take of high ground against the enemy, besides the cannon. But yeah, that's the second one.
Okay, I hope everyone liked the board showcase. Should have done some explaining on how the actual board functions. Now I'm going to talk about more of the building aspects. I wish I was at that time filming me building it, but I've come a long ways in building terrain, and I'm gonna talk about my experiences building the board. So the sand was the hardest part, and to date is still the hardest part of terrain for me. The problem I have with terrain is, you get sand. Do I have any? I don't have any. But, let's say this is my board, and I want to put sand on it. I haven't really found a good way to adhere it to the board and make sure that when I pick up my boards, because on my new board, it's 7 different of those boards combined. So I really have to make sure that everything can be moved and that nothing falls off of it. Well, with sand, that's a very big problem. So currently, my way of building terrain sand was actually taking Elmer's glue, and I don't have any popsicle sticks with me, but this can be our popsicle stick right here. Take my glue right here. I go dun dun dun, put it down, and I take my popsicle stick and I spread it out so it's a fine line, just thick enough to where it will catch the sand and create a thin layer. Now this helps me do sand, but I'm also, in my new board, I'm trying to do grass. Now the problem is tufts are expensive. Grass flocking is expensive. And I wanted to make the biggest board I can for the cheapest amount of money possible. Now that doesn't mean it's always gonna look the best. And I like to experiment with new things, such as, this is not sponsored, but AK Wet Grounds. They're one of my favorite actual mud effects, and I've used them on my Titan bases, and I've actually started to use them on my actual board. Now, if I had the budget to buy a ton of bottles of these, like gallons of it, I would go for it and make a huge board. And if you've got the money, I super recommend it. Go for it. But I don't have the money to do that. So I found my cost-effective way of doing that was taking sand, painting it green, and just putting it on the board. Another alternative to this, if you don't want to paint it beforehand, put all your sand down. Don't even worry about painting it. Take an airbrush and go right over it. It worked perfectly. That's how I do my basing terrain. Now, how I actually make my maps is kind of different. I don't know how many people do this, but I go through extensive drawing processes. So by the time I actually go to make a map, I'll probably have 7 different plans of maps that I want to make. And I'll have one picked out and I'll be like, okay, this is the one, this is the best out of the 7 that I actually want to use. So that really helps because I got a visual in mind. With this board, I know that I wanted a trench world, the board that I'm working on. I wanted a big trench, lots of Kriegsmen running through. This isn't a Kriegsman, but like tons of infantry, tons of Titans, all of that stuff. So that's why I started with. I started chiseling out terrain. I took a screwdriver just like this, but a little bigger. I would sit there and I would chisel out foam. Was it the fastest way to do stuff? Absolutely not. It was so slow. It took me months to carve everything out. But on that board that I just showed, it was simple. You take a, here it is. You take a, I forget what these are called. X-Acto knives, and put it all the way. This one's not all the way out, but the blades can get pretty long, and you just straight up, and you can cut it on both sides, break it in half. Boom, you've basically made levels for your terrain. Now, there's another really cool thing I have. It's spackling. Now, this is where the bulk of my terrain budget goes, actually. This is the funniest part. And I take it, let me get the resources. Oh, spackling and sand. I don't have any with me, but I've got, take some spackling, you put it in like a cup, like this, I've used this cup before. Go boom, 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 put it in a cup, boom, 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 put it in a cup. This really liquidy. Actually, this is some made rubble sand. But boom, 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 put it in the cup. And this will be our popsicle stick. Mix, 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 mix. Bam, bam, put it down. And here's the effect, right here. That's what it comes out to be. And I've really liked it. It's really cost effective for me. Turns out really well. And so, I'm actually going to be putting out a video. Eventually, I want to put out a video of me actually making that process. Maybe do some like nice, like satisfying pours, something like that. But yeah, that's kind of how I make my terrains. Now, I'll spend some money on cool stuff like trees and stuff like that, but I don't really want to. I'm trying to figure out a way to 3D print them. I'd like to find some good bamboo 3D prints, because I would like to make a bamboo forest on the board. But currently I'm thinking of ways that we could do that right now. As for the rest of the video, that's pretty much it. Next week we will be finishing the Warbringer Nemesis Titan. This is super pre-recorded so that I can finish my whole week actually on the Warbringer Nemesis Titan. So we're gonna knock that out of the park. As for after that, I want to work on Tyranid Titans for a little bit, just so that we can kind of recuperate, refresh before we jump back into the Titan building process. Now, we still will be building Titans, just Tyranid Titans, not Imperial Titans. But that's gonna be pretty fun, and maybe a couple other small things that I do have planned that are I don't have them out, but that I haven't talked about, but they're gonna be really cool, and I promise y'all are gonna like them. It has to do with the Tyranids though. So big Tyranid army reveal coming soon. Don't know when, don't know where, but it will happen. But yeah, that's it for the video. If you've continued to watch my 8-minute yap session, thank you. You really help improve my channel and push it out to everyone. Now, if you've gotten to this point, please consider liking and subscribing, as it helps the channel out so much. And to all my 15 subscribers at this point in time, thank you. Y'all are amazing, and I'm gonna keep putting out content till I can't. Have a great day.